We're going to learn how to use rebound on the floor today. Usually this is how I teach rebound, because when we play on the tile, you're going to hear the tone of the stick more. So what we're going to do is this. I know you want to put your arms on your knees like that, but what I want you to do is I want you to turn your body where your arms are kind of between your legs here and on the other side. Yeah, exactly. That way you can get your arms low, okay? So you can do this when you get home too. All right, so you probably don't have tile at home, right? Probably just carpet or something, right? So this might not work too well on carpet, but on here it works really well. I would not try this like on anything you'll get in trouble with, like if you're hitting on the hardwood and your parents see a bunch of stick dents, you'll get in trouble. Or if you play with your sticks on the concrete or something, it'll tear up the sticks. So make sure, if you're doing this, it's something similar, but you're not going to get in trouble with. But basically, we've learned how to do a wrist stroke with just our wrists like this. Okay, let's see that there. Yeah, exactly. And if you're doing this right, you should see the butt of your stick travel on the outside of your hand, like that, okay? And we have learned so far to keep our fingers closed, and we're just using wrist. So you can do this like knocking, okay? Do that. Go ahead. A lot of wrist. And stop. So make sure you're always coming back up. Ready and go. And stop. When you stop, you come up. Exactly. Now all we're going to do is this. Put your sticks up like this, facing the ceiling, and then let gravity open your hand. Pinky first, then a ring finger, then middle, but your thumb and first finger always stay on. Okay? So like this is, the way I think about this is like the swivel on the seesaw. Okay? But your fingers are staying attached. Okay? So we're just going to open up gradually like that while we play. So watch me, and I want you to listen too, and we should even be able to hear on the microphone the change in the tone. Okay? So as I'm grabbing it, I'm kind of killing the vibrations, but as I let go, pinky, ring finger, middle finger, as I open up, even though my fingers are still touching, the stick is going to vibrate more. So listen to how that sounds. I'm going to start tight, and I'm going to kill the sound, and then I'm going to loosen up, and you're going to hear the sound open up. And then you should be able to feel it open up too, like a bouncing basketball. Okay, watch. I'm going to start loosening up. You already hear it? You hear it? Boom, 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 boom. So again, my fingers are still barely touching, and they're always on the stick. I'm not grabbing each one of them. I'm opening up, okay? And then I'm supporting with my wrist the whole time. Okay? So we're just going to, don't try to do this really fast. Try to just do it slowly, open up and engage, but it's always wrist. Okay? Let's try it. Start closed. Let's try it. Ready and, actually start up. Ready and go. So pinky closed. Go high though. Come back up. Now start to relax your pinky. Feel the vibration. Start to relax your ring finger. Start to relax your middle finger. And it feels like a bouncing ball. And stop. Now Quincy, for your first time, that was like really good. Now partly, we're going to hear you by yourself in a second to see if we can hear that tone. But the thing I liked about that is you could see there was no hitch. It was like a bouncing ball. If you're bouncing a basketball, if you just bounce it and it goes boom, boom, is it going to stop in the middle of the air? No, is it going to stop on the floor? It's going to be constant motion. Almost like you ever seen like lyrics on a karaoke where it goes like, happy birthday to you. It's got that bouncing ball, and the ball never stops, right? Okay? So let's see what you got. So start tight, where we don't hear the vibration, and then loosen up slowly. That's actually really good. Now, I couldn't hear as much tone, because I think you were like here on the stick, and I want you to go back a little bit further. Oh, okay. Go choke back on the stick. A little bit more. I bet you we get more tone this time. start to loosen up. Pinky. Do you hear it? Do you feel it? Yeah. Now bounce a little faster. Wow. And stop. Yeah. Do you notice that towards the end you start playing lower? Just bring it on. Okay? Did you hear the difference in the tone? Did you hear it get a little more ringy than last time? So what did we learn? It's not just about the relaxation. It's also about holding the stick correctly. So this is not just a good exercise for rebound. This is a good exercise to like figure out, am I holding the perfectly 1/3 down the stick, right? Because that's how we learn how to hold the stick, right? Is we learn 1/3 is where the fulcrum goes right there. Okay? So if you learn how to rebound, that allows us to play faster and be relaxed. Okay? Again, with the basketball analogy, if we were bouncing a ball, would we grip the ball and like push it down and pull it up and push it down and pull it up? That would get really tiring, right? You could only do that for about 5 minutes maybe, but you could bounce a ball all day, couldn't you? Because all you're doing is throwing it down, gravity takes it down, and then after it hits the ground, it comes up by magic or by itself? It comes up by itself, and then you're just kind of catching it at the top and then throwing it back down. So you're only really touching the ball like just a little bit of the time. Most of it's doing it on its own. Okay, and if you think about your drum's like a trampoline. If you just threw a ball in a trampoline, would it bounce a little bit on its own? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the drum is going to give you energy, and then you're feeling the stick is going to give you energy too. So if we use the energy of the stick and the energy of the drum, then we don't have to do so much, and then we can play faster, and we can last longer. Okay. So if I were holding onto the stick like we've done from the beginning, which is good because we developed our wrist, but if I try to go faster, I can only go so fast. But when I relax and let the rebound happen, I have more energy to give out. You can hear that, right? It's like, woo, wow, what rebound. I can go a lot faster, okay? Now, did you notice as I got faster, I got lower? That's going to happen when you get to like turbo speed, right? For right now, we're really just trying to work on bouncing the ball, okay? So let's try that one more time. Let's just get a feel. And can you turn just a little bit more so I can see? No, the other way, yeah. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I want to see that right hand. Maybe turn just a little bit more, sorry. Yeah, okay? Go ahead, with me. And then relax. Get the rebound going, wrist. How relaxed can you be? It looks really good. Yeah, do you feel your pinky feeling the vibration? Make sure that pinky's a part of this, yeah. A little faster. Woo! Faster. Faster. Yeah, all right. But you know what? As you got faster, you got tired, right? But you actually looked really, really good. Okay, I didn't ever see you grab too much. So that's a really good start. I can't wait. When you bring your stuff on Wednesday, I can't wait to see you do this, okay? Because I bet you both are doing really good. Okay, now your left hand's probably not as strong, right? So let's see what happens with our left hand, okay? Even though you don't have your sticks, you could still be using your wrist and just developing your wrist muscles, okay? So let's just do that. Start tight with your left. Not, well, closed, right? And then relax the pinky a little bit. Relax the ring finger a little bit. Open up a little bit more. Maybe a little faster. Open up your middle finger. Now you're using a lot of arms. Wrist only. Just wrist. Find that bounce. Yeah, so our left is not as natural, right? Open up a little more. And stop. So you feel like your left's a little more awkward. It looks awkward, and it definitely.
It's like it's about to fall out of my hand.
Yeah. So that's gonna happen. Okay. So if your left hand is your left hand your weak hand. Okay. So what you're learning about your weak hand is that you have to work it twice as much as your strong hand. Okay. Did I ever tell you guys a story about my dad and how he would walk back and forth from the kitchen to his room? Ever tell you about that? Okay. So story time. So our living room was right in the middle of the house, okay? And the kitchen was like over there, and then over there was the bedroom. So my dad would always go back and forth between the, because he was getting hungry and stuff, right? So I would practice sometimes in the living room. So I'd be drumming. And at the time, I was really trying to make drumline. So I was working on my traditional grip. And the traditional grip is in your left hand, and that's your weak hand. And it's a weird grip, and you have to really work on holding it right. It's totally weird, right? Especially after you've done match grip for so long. Okay, so I was like trying to work with my left, and I wasn't very good, and I was always working on my weak hand. So there was one day my dad was walking, and he just stops, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Do you ever work on the other hand?" Because every time he walked through, what did he see? He always saw me working on that weak hand. So that's a good lesson to learn. So I wasn't trying to make that my goal, to make my dad go, "What's wrong with this kid?" It was just that I knew I had to work on my left hand a lot. And I worked on it so much that he knows nothing about drumming, but he noticed that I was always working on that left hand. So that was a win for me, right? So you just have to work on that left. Now sometimes, sometimes you need help figuring some things out, right? So if you know your right hand is very good, like today we saw your right hand's really good, sometimes it's really good to do them at the same time, because what I usually see what happens is the strong hand helps the weak hand, because the weak hand kind of goes like, "Oh, it's supposed to look like that," and you start trying to match them. And you can even look at both and see if they're matching. How does my left look different from my right? Because my right looks good, but why does my left look bad, right? What did you notice about your left that was happening?
Yeah, because my brain, my left hand is trying to mimic my right hand, and my brain is like all messed up.
Yeah, but let's get details. Like your right was using a lot of wrist. Your left was trying to use what?
It was trying to use the arm.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the things you got to tap into. Yeah, I saw your arm want to move. So we got to really try to work on this left, which is why I was saying, even though you don't have your sticks today, it's good to just do this, right? Like this would be considered like a wrist builder, right? Like how fast can you put your sticks down? Like put your hands like this. Like how fast can you just tap with your wrist? That's a good exercise. I'm already burning. What about your left? So even just working on this wrist motion without sticks. So you're using arm. We want to use wrist. We want to see this. A lot of wrist. So even just doing this, guys, is a good, we're even going to have something called wrist builders where we really work on our muscles, okay? So let's try that. Let's try both hands at the same time. Start with just wrist, no fingers, and then you're going to gradually relax your pinky and ring in the middle until you're rebounding, okay? Look at your left hand. You gotta look at it. You need more wrist and pop up and stop. Okay, so what I'm noticing is a lot of your energy is going down. Okay, so I think what's happening is your left is actually affecting your right. So your left's actually making your right worse. So we need to flip it in our brain and go, maybe we start with our right hand and then add the left hand.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good way to do it. Okay, notice I just made that up based on the situation. So sometimes when you're at home practicing, sometimes you just need to adapt to what's happening. Okay, so let's just do right hand first, and then we're going to add our left. And maybe when we add our left, we add it low and then crescendo it to the right height. Okay, so right hand. Feel that rebound. Oh, see, now it looks better. Lift it up. Oh, up, think up. Yeah, get out of the way, right? Good. Now down to the left without changing too much. Better. Let it bounce. There you go. Don't go down. Up. Think up. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. There you go. Let it bounce like a ball. Feel the rebound. And stop. Okay, so the last two strokes you started going down again and kind of doing this, but the 3 or 4 seconds before the last 2 strokes, did you feel how you were getting out of the way?
Yeah.
So again, like we talked about, another way to think about it is your sticks are perfect. Your drum or whatever you're drumming on that gives you rebound is perfect. So what's the imperfection?
How you move this?
We are. We're the imperfection. We're the human. Right? You ever hear of imperfect human mistakes, right? Okay, that's what we are. We're the imperfection. So if the stick is perfect and the drum is perfect and we're imperfect, do we want to insert more of ourselves into the situation, or do we want to get the imperfection out?
We want to work on it more.
We want to get the imperfection out. So we need to do less. We need to get out of the way of perfection. Make sense? So as we're playing, try to get out of the way. So what's happening is you're getting in the way. When you're doing it wrong, you're getting in the way. You're going like this, and you're stopping the stick here. Instead of getting out of the way and letting the stick come back up like it wants to do. The other way to think about it is this. Like when you're bouncing a ball, again, would you just stop it on the ground? You have to get out of the way, right? So we're learning how to turn our wrist so quickly it gets out of the way. We're trying to make sure our fingers don't squeeze and get in the way. Okay, the other way you can think about it is this. The stick naturally has all this energy, right? So again, we want to harness that energy and just give it direction instead of like controlling every little part of it. But let's get out of the way and let the stick do what it wants to do. Up, think up, out of the way. Too much, do less. Yes, there you go, yeah! Quincy's in the house! Woo! Now, do this. Watch, keep going and do this. I want you to relax until the sticks kind of fall out. But then your hands keep going. Okay, the moment before you drop the stick is the moment we want to capture. Okay? It's that 1% of I'm out of the way until it's too late and then the stick's out of your hand. So we want to barely use anything. So let's try that again. Okay? Get out of the way. Now loosen up almost to where the sticks are going to fall out. Almost to where the sticks are going to fall out. Yeah. Almost and then. Yeah. Okay, so you're getting to the moment, that moment before you drop the stick a lot faster now. Are you noticing? And how does that feel? Does that feel like is it hurt or does it feel kind of nice?
It does feel nice.
Yeah. It's almost like a massage for your hands. You have the vibrations of the sticks and then you're just barely doing anything and it's like, oh. Okay? So everything we do should just be like very little effort. It's just the amount of energy, of the technique that we're doing. If we're doing the technique right, then we don't have to do much. Okay? All right. Go ahead and sit in your chair. We're gonna end the rebound lesson right there. Thank you.